Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Greystone Brownback sessions. Guess what? This time I actually need the glasses. I'm sick. I have one of my eyes. That one. Yeah, there you go. You saw it. I'm a little bit, under the weather. Before I continue, big hugs to my wife that is at home, recuperating from an illness. Mamita, te quiero mucho. Espero que te mejores. You see, St. Valentine's, I gained like 1,000 points. Okay, so once again, thank you very much for being here. Today's topic is a great topic. Five tips to survive the next real estate crash. Okay, basically, we all know it's cyclical. If you look at the history, it's every 20 years, so we're going to be talking about that. But remember, it's not just me. I am Rafi.
And this is Jorge.
There
Hello.
you go. How you doing, man?
Sure, you guys miss me, but I'm here.
There you
Can't go
go.
anywhere.
Again, everyone on everyone's under the weather, so we'll try as best as possible to keep it up. But thank you very much for joining today. And again, I think it's a great topic, because a lot of people, don't get into real estate because they remember that last time that the market crashed. What they don't know when they do research is that it's almost cyclical. Every 20 to 30 years, there's a bubble, then that bubble bursts, and then guess what? We come up. And what a lot of people tend to miss is that during those times of bubble and stuff like that, there are great opportunities. There are great opportunities for savvy investors. That's the key. For savvy investors, there's great opportunities. So again, we're going to discuss today 5 tips. Before I continue, please make sure that you like our page, Greystone Investment Group. So just go to Facebook and like our page, Greystone Investment Group. Okay, and make sure that you share this in your timeline. So if you're watching us now, we have 10 of you watching us right now. Please make sure that you share this on your timeline to your friends and your network.
To say hi, because with the new setup, the new Facebook setup, we can't tell who's.
Yeah, there's
online.
9 of you there, but we don't know who you are. Please.
So I challenge you to say hi right now. Come on, guys.
You know what we should? I'm gonna pay a Diet Coke to the first one to put a comment right there saying I'm here. Let's see, 5, 4. Come on, someone says I'm here. There you go, Eric Verdejo. Eric, great title company that Eric runs over there. So make sure that you support him. Jason also said hi. Jason Fix from Greystone Real Estate, our new venture into real estate and property management. I'm still waiting for the Mexican food from Jason for this Greystone meeting. Jason, I expect some nice Mexican food for our next Greystone Brownback session. So come on, let's do it. Say hi to Diana. So again, we have those 5 tips. But before, Jorge, where can they find those outside Facebook?
They could always find us at homesforincome.com. That is homes, the number 4, income.com.
Excellent. So again, Jocelyn Rivera, she's there. Hi, Josie. Hope he gets something nice for St. Valentine's. Anyways, so let's
mi amor.
Mira para allá, acumulando puntos ahí. Let's go to the first tip. So what would be the first tip in terms of how to survive that real estate crash that it's happening? We don't know when, but it will happen. What would be that first tip?
So anyways, I want to mention to the audience out there that I went through it. In 2000, I started investing in real estate in early 2000. And I pretty much lost half of my inventory in 2007. And even though it was very tough, it was a good learning experience that has prepared me now. I always said that was like going to college, learning what we learned back then. So the first thing, when you're talking about buying cash flow properties, is you want to buy a property where the rents are lower than the average rent in that particular area.
Wait, but okay, that doesn't make sense.
Right?
You want me to get a property that rents below the median? Yes. Why?
Well, the reason, the strategy behind it is that as the market turns down, if the market comes down, if your rents tend to be cheaper, you're gonna be able to grab those potential tenants that were higher end property. Maybe they lost their job, or they,
okay.
they got demoted. So if you're at the bottom, you're not gonna get hurt as much as if you're here. For example, the average rental property price in Tampa, Florida is $1,500 a month. That's the average. Most of our properties rent for $900. So once if the market was to turn, let's say in 2018, a lot of those people are either going to lose their jobs, get demoted, and they're going to seek for cheaper properties. So, and since you're on the bottom, people need housing. You're at the bottom. You're going to get the bottom anyways.
Got it.
And all the other potential tenants that were in the other level, higher up.
Okay, so basically your point is, and by the way, that doesn't mean that you're going to get a lower cap rate.
Right.
No. You actually, you may probably be getting a higher cap rate, but you're just saying, hey, target those rents that are lower. That way, when people struggle and have to go through a situation where they have to come down on rent, you already have that, rent ready for them versus you struggling to sell it at, to rent it at 2,000, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
that makes sense. So the number 2 tip to survive a real estate crash, what will be?
Number 2, very important, is to have reserves. A lot of investors, they see the market taking off, they get excited, they want to spend every dollar they have in their pockets, but that's a big mistake. And trust me, I've learned that lesson myself.
Okay.
Right now, what I do is, if you're dealing with cash flow properties, right, and you still have your job, right, and you're dealing with cash flow properties, then you gotta just think of covering those rental properties for a year or two in case that the market turns down.
Okay.
If you're into the real estate business, if this is your business, you got to make sure that you cover your expenses as a business for at least a year.
Okay.
Because you can maneuver 6 months, 7 months, but you got to make sure that you have at least a year.
Okay. So it's very important, and we always, when we calculate, cap rates for our investors, we always, have some very high maintenance reserves, because again, we always want to, prepare for the worst and hope for the best, So that's definitely one area where we want to do it. Now, tip number 3, and this one, if you have seen our previous videos, which you can check, our Greystone Investment group page and see the other videos, this one's going to resonate. Okay, you cannot be surprised by the next one. What is the next tip to survive a real estate crash?
Be a good landlord. Be a good landlord.
It's easy. Be a good landlord. Be a good guy. Don't be that guy that. No. Be a good landlord. But there's ways that you can be a great landlord. So when you say be a good to great landlord, what are you talking about?
The way I put it, Rafi, is like landlords are like your child, like your kids, right? So you love them, right? You love your tenants. Tenants, because they're paying your rent. You want to take care of them. You definitely want to take care of them. But you also gotta show them, have to make sure that they understand their responsibilities as well, and that they commit to those responsibilities. So it's having that balanced approach where, like, okay, I'm gonna take care of you, tenant. These are my responsibilities. Having that in writing. Okay, this is from 1 to 5. This is what I'm gonna cover for you. And having 6 to 10, these are the stuff that you need to cover. And be able to, if there's a repair that's valid, that is something that is on you, move quick and get it fixed.
But you know what? That's to be a good landlord. Let me tell you how you can be a great one.
Tell me, Rafi, how do you do that?
Hire a great property manager.
Yes.
We go back to the video. When we finish today, go back to that one video, the second video, the third video. Every single time we said it. Get a good property manager. If you have a property manager, all those things that you're talking about, now you hold them accountable because you're paying them a fee, small fee, 8-10%, but they are the experts at that. And it eliminates all the hand-holding, all the, calls at 2 a.m. in the morning, all that kind of stuff. A great landlord, a great property manager, will take care of that. So
Absolutely.
from my perspective, You can be a good landlord, but you can be a great investor by hiring a property manager. I think that's the one area that I truly believe a lot of people try to cut corners there. And hey, I live in Tampa, so I can do it, guys. Let the experts be the experts. I'm one of those that, hey, if at home, y ya lo sabe, if a little switch, sparks, stuff like that, I don't go like trying to be little Timmy Jimmy trying to be electrician. I pay that guy. Same with the property manager, people. Don't skimp on that. Do your research. Make sure you get references. Make sure that they are for the right property. Remember, we're talking about in Section 8 properties. You need to have a Section 8 property manager. But that's how you go from good to great. Be a great investor by hiring a property manager. So I beat you to that one. What would be the next tip to survive a real estate crash?
Number 4, manage your cash flow.
But just manage it, or
aggressively manage
there's a difference. You will find out.
And mainly what you want to do is what you want to make sure that you really count your pennies. You really have to, when it comes to rentals, one thing could go wrong and really kill the deal, kill your rent, your income coming in. So you got to count the pennies. You need to assess how much the insurance are, how much the taxes are, confirm and double confirm or triple confirm with a few property managers to make sure, okay, is this a rent?
Right.
And even then I will take a lower number to be conservative. So start with that, making sure that you don't get excited because the property looks nice.
I never get excited.
Yes.
Internal joke.
And you buy something that at the end is going to hurt you. So do your numbers the right way. That will be the number 1.
And let me tell you, when he says counting pennies, we literally mean counting pennies. You need to have a very good record keeping of expenses, record keeping of repairs, taxes, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to go back, and that's answering Eric's question. I'm going to go back to a good property manager, a very good property manager will take care of most of that stuff. They will document for you repairs. They will document you, rents, they're late, they're not late, that kind of stuff. So a good property manager will take care of most of that stuff. And again, for Eric's point of view, in terms of property management costs, it ranges between 8 to, we've seen as high as 12%. Some of them, at 12% include everything. Some of them at 8, then they tack on fees, for other stuff like eviction programs and stuff like that. But I would budget between 8 to 12% in terms of property manager in that regards. And then Ian saying, reward your loyal tenants. You know what? I'm gonna like that coming from Ian, because that's something that he shared with us. He rewards his good paying tenants with the holiday bonus. Can you imagine? Again, especially if you go with tenants that are a little bit on the lower end. If you send them a $100 gift card to Amazon, Walmart, or something like that at the beginning of the holiday season, saying, "Hey, thank you for being such a great tenant," man, that goes a long way to make sure that you get tenants that stay, and that they take care of your property, So that's a great idea by Ian there that we implemented, and it has worked, tremendously. You can do different stuff, but yeah.
So when it comes to managing the cash flow, so you want to make sure that you're good to the tenant, but they also understand the expenses too that they have to, because a lot of times landlords are not clear, on their leases. This is anything you do up to this much is your responsibility.
Right.
Wear and tear, I got it, but this and this and that. You gotta be very specific, because a lot of landlords don't do that, and that's a big part of the total expenses, the net operating income that you're gonna get at the end of the year. So
and I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but a good property manager will take care of that.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, And by the way, I'm not a property manager, but I've seen the value. I'm sold on it. Then the number 5, the last tip in terms of suggestions to better survive a real estate crash. What would be the last one?
The last one is to make a conservative choices when you're buying properties.
Hmm.
And the best way to describe that is to rip your heart, take the feeling out of the transaction away 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I just talked about earlier. People get excited. They see their neighbors doing good in a good real estate economy.
They get pumped up.
They get pumped up. They see their family members doing well. And they see a property. They look the curve appeal. And they say, I want that investment homes without doing the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So be conservative. Do your numbers. And make sure you understand what you're doing.
I think the one thing that I learned pretty quickly in this business is, there's a big difference between an investment home and a home that you're going to live in.
Absolutely.
And where most of the mistakes are made are where people buy homes that they say, oh my God, I wouldn't live there. Or, you know what, I'm going to change this, and create a double, vanity master bathroom with a spa on, Seminole Heights, or Sulphur Springs. It's an investment home. So treat it the same way you treat, your investment, somewhere else. You look at how much you put into, you look at your cap rate, and then you say, is the risk, from my perspective, does that match the reward that I'm going to get, on that property, and go from there. One tip that I like to always, give people when they're doing flips is, if you're doing flips and you buy an investment home, how do you know it's a conservative choice? Very simple. Run the numbers as if you were going to rent it, not flip it. And if those numbers are not at rental levels, but at least close. So for example, right now we're getting in Tampa 9 to 10% cap rate on rentals. If that flip gives you a 6 to 8, so it's not there, but it's close, guess what? You got that flip. You put your investment there. The market goes down. You didn't expect it. You can rent a house for a couple of years. It's giving you at least a good 6, 8%. You're paying the expenses, to your point, for a couple of years, and then guess what? You write the appreciation and you do it. But the key is that you have to make that calculation before you buy that investment property. That way, you can get it. So we have a lot of people that ask us, hey, why you don't have 50, flips at a time? Because we run them that way, and we're very conservative with our choices. And by doing it that way, we just had a situation, similar to that, where guess what? We could have rented, that flip at a point that we said, it will pay the expenses. We can ride it for a year, wait for it to go, up, and then sell it. We have a couple of questions, which is great, and these glasses don't have, my prescription, so I have to do this. Do repairs usually? This is Eric. Do repairs usually stay on budget, or should you budget an additional amount? And if so, what is a good number? You want to tackle that one?
I mean, anytime that you got to see real estate as an investment,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to come up with a budget from day one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and within that budget, things are going to happen, so you're going to have some wiggle room within the budget. But if you have the right team and you're working with the right people, you should not go over budget.
Mm-hmm.
You should not go over budget, because inside of that budget, there's the room for any.
Here's my, and that will be the last question I'm going to ask today, because it's always already 18 minutes, almost 19. Here's the way I would look at it, Eric. Always at least 10% buffer over the already, extended quote. Always at least 10%.
That's something that we add to the budget.
We always add that. So even if we added, hey, what if the AC? Okay, let's put the AC there. And even after we come up with that final, then we go, okay, he said 28. We're gonna budget for 30. So that would be my definitely initial one. Now, watch out, for a key couple items. There's 4 things that can really bust your repairs: AC, electrical, plumbing, and roof. So those are the 4 things that as soon as you get to the house, you need to make sure that there's as much a good assessment on them as possible. And those are the bust the budget, the budget busters. Those are the ones that if you have to do the roof, it's $6,000 to $8,000. If you have to rewire a house, depending on the size, it can be, $10,000, $12,000. Those are the big ones. So make sure that when you do that initial quote, the contractor try as much as possible. Sometimes it's very difficult because you have to tear down a wall. But those are the really ones that you have to take a look at and make sure that you have them as close to what you want as possible. If they're not part of that quote, then guess what? You need to make sure that you have them. Excellent. Wow, 20 minutes, man. This was the longest. I think everyone asking questions. We're very passionate about it because, again, like you said, you went through it. And not only that, we want to make sure that, again, it's a cycle. It will happen again. And we want to make sure that our investors are, prepared for that. Please make sure that you share this video in your timeline so your, networks and friends can see it. Where can you find us?
They could always find us at homesforincome.com, Rafi.
Okay.
And it's homes, the number 4.
Number 4.
Income.com.
Excellent. Don't forget to like our page here on Facebook, Greystone Investment Group. And we'll see you next Friday in Greystone Brownback Sessions. Que te mejores, mi amor.
Thank you.
Bye.